What's up? For those of you that don't know me, my name's Oceana, and as I'm sure you can tell from the title, today I'm going to be going over all the books I read in 2025. I actually have read almost 7 books this year. I am so freaking stoked about that. I know that's not like a ton of books, but that's more books that I've read. That's like more books that I've read in one year probably in my entire adult life. I used to read so much as a kid, and I like made it a priority. Like, I don't know, maybe like halfway through the year, I was like, I'm gonna read 1 book a month, which I basically succeeded, and I'm looking forward to keeping that up in 2026. Anyways, without making this intro too long, let's go ahead and dive into the books that I read this year. So, yeah, 7 books. I'm super stoked. The book that I'm currently reading that I haven't finished yet is called Payback's a Witch by Lana Harper. Lana Harper? Yes, I'm about halfway through it. This book has been so good. It's a witchy book, basically about this girl who left like her town that is like all magical and like this town of witches. She left to go live like a normal life, but she ends up coming back and a bunch of stuff happens. It's really cute. I definitely like it so far. I would recommend it, but again, I'm only halfway through this one. While I'm talking about this book, though, I do also want to point out, look at this cute bookmark I just got. Isn't this so cute? It's got like suns and stars, and it's like metal, and then it's got like all the like colored chakras and like a tree of life on it. I am obsessed with this bookmark, just saying. Super, super cute. It's on my Amazon. I'll have it linked below. Okay, so that is the first book or I guess the book that I'm currently reading. The very first book I read this year was called Quit Like a Woman. This one was really good. It's by Holly Whitaker. It says the radical choice to not drink in a culture obsessed with alcohol. And this one was just a really fun read. It's basically about how like alcohol has been like advertised to women and like kind of like a different way to see alcohol, especially when we live in a culture of like, you know, drinking is like so widely acceptable, and this is kind of poking holes in like why it's all like kind of just like how bad it is to drink and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, really good read. Whether you don't drink or you're looking to quit drinking or anything like that. I quit drinking alcohol at the beginning of this year, so this was just kind of a relatable read for me at the time, but definitely recommend. It was definitely a good one. The next book that I read was See, I Was Right by Kayla Wilkie, also known on social media as Winter Blanco. She has 2 books that came out. I read the first one, See, I Was Right, and then I read the second one, You Should Have Listened. Literally, I read the first one so fast, I was like, okay, I have to go pick up the second book, and these are so good. If you don't know anything about Winter, she is like a social media like icon and like one of my favorite influencers, to be honest. But she was on Bad Girls Club like way back in the day, if y'all remember that show. So this first book is like about her like life like before Bad Girls Club, and then this book is about like after Bad Girls Club. Both of these are really good reads. If you know anything about Winter, she's hilarious and very entertaining, and her books are really good as well. So anyways, yeah, so I read those books. The next book I read was The Power of the... I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on here. The Power of the Cat. This one is by Kara King. I think it's Kara. Maybe Kara King? I think it's Kara. That's Kara. And it basically says how to get what you want from men, love, respect, commitment, and more. What do you want? And it's basically a book just about like not getting played by men, essentially. And this is a pretty good read. Honestly, if I ever had a daughter, I have a son, but if I ever had a daughter, I would definitely be giving her this book like for like her 18th birthday as a present. Just, yeah, I think every woman should read this book, regardless if you are single, dating, married. I think every woman could benefit from this book. Yeah, so yeah, the author of this book follows me on Twitter, and I thought that was so cool. Obviously, I follow her too. But yeah, we're mutuals on Twitter. But yeah, she has a second book out, and I'm really excited to get her second book in 2026. But yeah, highly, highly recommend. Quick read, easy read. Yeah, good book. Okay, so all of those books that I talked about so far, I do have all of those on my Amazon storefront, so I'll have all of those linked below if you're looking to get those books. Super, super easy. I'll have all the books individually linked as well as my Amazon storefront. So, yay. The other two books I read, now these ones I already had in my library. So, I didn't buy these books, but I had them like just on my shelf forever and never got around to reading them. The first one is The Ruining by Anna Collymore. I hope I'm saying her last name right. But this one was really good. It's like a thriller, like a psychological thriller. This one was about a girl who I think she was originally living in Detroit, I want to say. Anyways, she like was living in somewhere else. I want to say Detroit maybe. And then she went to go live with this family who she was getting a nanny for in California. I want to say it was like San Francisco. Don't quote me on the places. But yeah, so she started off like at this like, she was growing up poor, like living like either in a trailer or a small house or something like that. Goes to live with this rich family over on the West Coast while she goes to college. And then a bunch of weird stuff starts happening. And like, you don't know if like the nanny is the crazy one or like if stuff's actually happening to her, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to give too much away, but this was definitely a good book. So that was the other one I read. And then the last book I read was The Woman in Cabin 10, and this one is by Ruth Ware. And the funny thing about this book, I've had this book on my shelf for literally probably like 5 years, and like I tried to read it a few times, and then like I just kind of stopped. Nothing against the book itself, I just like was getting in phases of reading, and then life would happen, and then I wouldn't be reading, and then like, yeah, so finally when I was like, okay, I'm serious about reading, I'm gonna sit down and read this, I read this book, and tell me why I had, like, the calling to read this book, and then as soon as I finished the book, like, a week later, Netflix came out with a movie based on this book with Keira Knightley. Love me some Keira Knightley. I will say, though, if you try to watch the movie before reading the book, you are definitely going to think that this is not going to be a good book. I don't think that the movie did it justice in any way. Honestly, I had to watch the movie because I just read the book, but I probably wouldn't watch the movie again, if you know what I'm saying. This book, though, was probably my favorite thriller book that I read this year. Basically, it's about a woman who, like, is, like, a journalist or something for, like, a newspaper or magazine or whatever. She gets invited to go on this boat's, like, or it's, like, a yacht, like, a big fancy yacht's, like, first voyage out onto the water. It's called the Aurora Borealis, and basically, there is what you think is a murder or someone goes missing on the boat. And yeah, so it's super good because it's like, did the murder actually happen? Or like, it's like a murder mystery book essentially. Like, did the girl actually go missing? Was the girl ever there? What happened? Blah, 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 blah. Super, super good. This book kind of kept me on my toes like till the very end, and I love me a good thriller that does that. So yes, as you can see, my favorite kind of books are like thriller books, and then I love me like a good like woman empowerment or like self-help book or like, you know, anything along those lines. So yeah, those are the books that I read this year. If you have any recommendations on good books that you read this year, please drop them in the comments. I am always looking for new reads, especially if they are thriller or self-help or anything along those lines. Those are like my favorite type of books to read. I love like witchy magical books and that kind of stuff as well. But yeah, can't wait to read more books. The goal for 2026 is to read at least one book per month. If I can read 2, that'd be ideal, but we'll see, and I'll keep you guys updated with my book journey and what I'm reading. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.